get it.
SDP, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
So, when was the last time you had a gander at Jesse Blake's package?
Oh, man.
Oh, no. This isn't a Manscaped ad.
No, I just wondered when was the last time you saw Jesse's package, Steve? When was it?
I mean, you don't really look at it. It looks at you.
Right.
You know?
Right. Well, Jesse said, I need to start the show with my package.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, well, if you have to, we all have to look at Jesse Blake's package together. What is it, Jesse?
A listener by the name of Eric Williams is a comic book collector. And Eric has the ability to obtain the most rare items because it's what he does for his hobby, right? So Eric sent us a package to the SDPN studios. Thank you, Eric. It's very nice. And I think Adam should do the honors since Adam's so skeptical about Eric's package that he sent.
I was told it was your package. Now it's Eric's package.
That he sent to us.
I think it's a yellow sweater.
A yellow sweater.
Yeah.
Adam, Eric was able to obtain the most rare item in the universe.
In the entire universe.
Why don't you open it
my God.
and tell the audience what we received?
No. Canada's most beautiful people. Oh my God. So this is
He was able to track down the May 2016 edition of Hello Canada, which happens to be the edition where Adam Wilde was named one of Canada's most beautiful people.
So here's the problem. It's a little taped down.
Yeah. Is this from one of the VIP episodes? I can't remember.
No, we started one of the regular shows with it. It was a very
yeah.
VIP conversation, but it happened off the top of one of our shows a few days ago.
Oh my God.
And Adam said in our conversation that he doesn't own a copy. He was embarrassed by it and he never kept a copy of it. So
it doesn't make sense ultimately.
yeah, but it's a good keepsake to have.
Yes.
And please don't ever get rid of it. I'm going to, maybe we'll have
frame
to,
it.
we'll frame it and we'll put it in the office. So I know you don't go home and throw it out.
Okay. Well, I will never throw it out. Eric, I'm worried here because I don't want to.
No, you don't want to damage it
It's
at all.
actually in incredible shape, but I know I'm in here.
Adam doesn't want to damage it or die of tuberculosis.
Open it.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Here we go.
Do you know what page it's on?
No, I.
You should.
I don't think you've ever read it.
No, I don't think I ever. I don't even know if I ever held a copy. Okay, beautiful people.
Look in the glossary under hotties.
like The Weeknd, Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Gosling, Justin Trudeau, Sophie Trudeau.
Let's get to Adam Wilde.
Grello.
Let's get to the good ones.
You guys
Oh,
do
gosh.
stuff. You guys.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just.
Do you want the day off?
You guys keep talking, and I'll find this thing.
You want me to do it?
No, I'll find it.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
Jesse.
It's not
Yeah.
like it's easy. There's 50 of them.
No, Steve, you go. What do you got?
On a scale of 1 to hot,
Yeah.
how do we think Adam's profile is going to be in this magazine?
Definitely hot. He's
Think
named one
hot?
of Canada's hottest people, obviously.
Come on, guys. Tap dance a little better.
Oh,
No. This is much
doing a
more
great
fun
job.
watching you try and find
Wow,
this.
this is probably, here we go.
Do you think Nick Robertson did it on purpose? Let's talk about that. I'm on the side if he did.
So,
All right.
here's my co-host, Tanya Kim.
Okay.
See? Makes sense. Beautiful. She's in the middle there in the leather jumpsuit.
Oh, thank you. I was like, which one
Complete
is Tanya
sense.
Kim?
Like,
okay.
she belongs in this magazine. Okay?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay? Now, remember, this is 10 years ago. I cannot believe someone found this. This is unbelievable. And I'm just going to find...
Oh, I thought you were going to turn the page and you were there.
No, not yet.
Yeah, no.
There's Jonathan Bernier, Sophie Gregoire Trudeau, Justin Trudeau. Oh, good. They put me right next to there I am.
Hey, finally. That was excruciating.
That was actually terrible.
That was awful.
Talking about here, guys.
Okay. Here we go. There's Adam Wilde. Read what the description says.
Description says,
Into the microphone if
Toronto,
possible.
age 28, can be heard on the radio station Kiss 92.5 and TV's Rogers Your World This Week, Entertainment City, and Breakfast Television. Confidence comes down to how you eat, how at ease you are in a situation. So I guess I'm confident.
Is that a quote from you?
Apparently.
No, hold on. What did you give to Hello Canada? What quote did you say?
Can I read it so that people can?
Yeah. Let's
like,
Steve do that.
You
can barely talk.
Sound like me.
Hometown, Toronto, age 28, multimedia. He can be heard on radio station Kiss 92.5.
That part.
What? I'm doing it, but better. And seen on TV's Rogers Your World this week, Entertainment City and Breakfast Television. Casual wear. Confidence comes down to how at ease you are in a situation. So I guess I'm most confident on a Sunday morning, drinking coffee in my pajamas. Fresh cut. Nothing beats the feeling of putting on a brand new suit. Yeah, Adam? Nothing beats the feeling of... How about bacon?
I don't know.
You said this?
I don't think I did.
You did.
There's no way.
If this was a Bachelor bio, I'd be like, get him off the show.
Yeah.
First week.
Yeah, it's rough.
Fresh cut. Oh, no, we just did that. Rock on. Adam's go-to concert companion is his mom. TV and radio star, Marilyn Dennis.
That is actually true. That is true.
No, you're missing one quote from Adam.
Oh, dear. The closest thing I can compare celebrity reporting to is going on a first date. That's from Adam Wilde.
That's also true.
So you did. These are your quotes, Adam.
That. I don't think I said nothing compares to putting on a fresh suit. I don't
know.
all of my clothes for TV were borrowed. So
Yeah, but you're in a suit.
no, I never was. I was wearing jeans.
No, the picture is literally of you in a suit.
I know
Show the
it's a
camera.
suit jacket. I still was wearing jeans. I remember that jacket too. But yeah, that's what I used to look like. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, look like it's just. Well, that's crazy. What a find. How do you even locate something like
I don't know. You got to be like in Eric's world where you're a comic book collector.
that?
and
You
can
almost
just-
tore it.
Yeah,
I
that
almost
was-
did.
All right, Jesse.
That was
I
bad.
put it down. Dad,
So-
take it.
Do we got to frame like the page? I guess.
I think we can frame the page. They can.
Yeah.
flatten
So we
it
got to flatten it. We'll damage it a little bit. Like who cares? It's about
Yeah.
the page, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe
Oh,
we'll take out the cover, or we'll take out like the staples, and we'll do like the cover.
Well, they'll
and
do that
the
at the framing place. They
Yeah,
can
not
do all
us.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't
We'll
trust
do
us to
the cover and the page, but that'll be
Yeah.
cool. We'll hang that in the office. Thank you so much.
Hilarious.
That is incredible. Like, how do you
What a
track
find.
down something like that?
What a find. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
This person may or may not have reached out to me on Instagram, and I was like, please send that to us immediately.
Oh my God. That's so funny. That's so funny. I guess do people collect like Hello Canada magazines?
I don't know.
That's weird, right?
Maybe they're huge Adam Wilde fans or Jay Baruchel fans. 'Cause he was right next to you.
They could be. Now, I wanted to start the show with this video. I'm not sure if you've seen it. I'm going to send this to Jesse. This is the Markham Royals. And before Steve asks, because he does this every time, even though I vet it, yes, we can use it on YouTube, Steve. It's a social media video.
Sometimes you don't vet it.
I do vet it.
I don't know. The
Just
one
don't
where,
play it. Don't play it with any audio. Okay. All right.
Remember when we were like,
Case
"Hey,
there's
does
any
that have any music in it?" And then the first note was a piano.
Okay.
That was like
So
3
probably
episodes
royalty
ago,
free.
Adam.
yeah.
Probably royalty free. But anyway.
When has Adam ever been wrong, aside from the
Never.
times he's been wrong?
So watch this. Now, remember Steve getting nailed at hockey.
yes.
Steve was blindsided. This is the Markham Royals captain stepping out on the ice for the first time. And he's excited. He's ready to go. He's a young man in the prime of his life. Press play, Jesse.
Get in there, kid. Get in there.
And he absolutely clobbers one of his teammates.
Man, that should be like I would send that to teams like as part of my like here's
Yeah.
my highlight package.
Absolutely.
He steps onto the ice. He does not, dude. The teammate that runs into him at like
Full speed.
I would say at least half speed does not affect him at all. It's just shoulder into the chest and he's dead.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you could see why this guy's captain. He's also like half a foot taller. He's huge.
Those shades of that's a Vladdy Konstantinov hit. That's a big
A monster. Yeah.
throwback, but man, he flattened some of the Flyers.
Heck of a promo video. The other thing I wanted to bring up before we get into, news and notes around the league and the Leafs and everything. Jesse, I just sent you another thing there. Oakland played their last game at what was Oakland Alameda County Stadium. Has been there since, I believe, 1968. Stadium is falling apart.
Terrible year.
There are a ton of great TikToks from people that actually work there that are like, here's what I love about the stadium. And the stadium is just a shithole now, right? It was not well kept. It's too bad.
I posted a video and someone's like, looks like a great place to bring your kids to a ball.
Yeah, honestly. And there were people like ripping seats out of the stadium and the seats were all rusted underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Like it really does kind of show like, man, we're a little spoiled here in Toronto with our sports.
Well, they also just, I mean, they abandoned it.
Yes. Yeah. For years.
While
years.
using it.
Yeah. So what was weird about the goodbye video was the Abruzzese Toronto Maple Leafs Justin Bieber video or jersey that showed up. Why are you wearing an Abruzzese jersey?
It's the black Leafs jersey, 26 Abruzzese. That's some Leaf fans right now are like, who's that? Why are you simply sharing a video of a guy wearing a Leafs jersey with his name on the back? No, Nick Abruzzese has played 11 NHL games for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
And he is on their B squad this morning.
Adam, do you know our special connection to Nick Abruzzese?
Other than the fact that every time we say his name, a bunch of people reach out, it's Abruzzese. And he's like, no, it's Abruzzese.
Well,
That's
there's
how I
that.
wanna bring
There's also Abruzzese, some people say.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I'm sure everyone called him Bates Battaglia when he was a Leaf, right?
yeah.
Let's calm down, everyone. No, our connection is you and I were in the building for his first and so far only NHL goal.
Really?
Yes, in that shitty game 82 against Boston,
Oh, wow.
where no one played. No one was in the lineup, basically, and he scored.
So
That's so incredibly random.
it's random.
Yeah,
It's almost as random as, remember we used to talk about Rough Rider fans, Saskatchewan Rough Rider fans?
Yes.
And how you could find them literally anywhere.
Great Wall of China.
Yeah. And they got the Rough Riders gear on. This is years and years ago. That felt like that to me. I just don't know why you're wearing a Leaf jersey to the Oakland game.
I gotta.
I'm sure that guy, like, he must have heard an episode of the show at least once. Like, if you're him and you wore that, please reach out to us.
Oh, I was
He
definitely
knows
like,
who Steve
nah, that's,
Dangle is.
He
yeah,
must.
that's
Yeah.
a fan. That's a fan.
Yeah.
He must. Like, if you're a Leaf fan, you've at least heard of it.
Yeah.
What's with that? If I see someone being difficult about a jersey, my instinct is they listen.
Well, no, it's not. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm like Leaf fandom, as much as it's huge, it's sort of a small town. Everybody knows everybody. And so it's like, hey, if you know this person, even if you know this person, I would love to know. I'd love to have them on and figure out why the hell they were wearing it. Anyway.
Yeah, what's the context here with the Oakland A's and wearing a Leafs jersey?
Yeah.
And then I look it up because I'm like, I bet Abruzzese's from Oakland and this is a relative and he's from New York. Okay, so guess not.
It's like when I went and saw a Tampa Bay game against Nashville in like 2017, and somebody was wearing a Dave Steckel Leafs jersey.
Hell yeah.
I'm like, you have to be related to Dave Steckel. Who's going to have a Dave Steckel Leafs jersey?
There was a Leafs fan in Sweden when I was there last year wearing a Leafs Dennis Malkin jersey. And I was just like, what?
Relative.
What is up with that? And he's like, no, I'm a big Dennis Malkin fan. He was just a big Dennis Malkin fan.
Good for Malkin Hive.
The Malkin Hive, rise up. I found the leader. I found the queen bee.
So last night, the Leafs won their first game of the preseason. Nobody cares about the score, but there was one storyline. Nick Robertson, the best of times and the blurst of times.
Game-winning goal. That's what everyone was talking about.
Yes. But he also took out a member of the core four. And as of this morning, it means Matthews, Nylander, and Tavares are not skating
Well, so
or have light injuries already.
Leafs PR sent out a tweet this morning listing injuries, and they didn't list Willie.
No, they didn't. And Berube did say he would be okay.
Yeah, Willie seems like he's fine.
Yeah.
They're being extra cautious. He makes $11.5 million. He's one of their best players, and he missed playoff games. Why, boys and girls? Migraines.
Right.
So they want to make sure he doesn't get those. But they listed a few injuries: Yarn Croak, lower body; Alex Steves, lower body; John Tavares, lower body. The following players will not. I'm reading it in reverse order for some stupid reason. It's Friday. They're not skating today because they have day-to-day injuries. Matthews was on the ice.
Yep.
And Dakota Mermis is actually undergoing surgery for his jaw. He's
Crazy.
listed as week to week. That sucks. The jaw is a very long and shitty recovery. And that's a guy who kind of like has a somewhat okay chance of playing games at least this season. I'm not worried. If he was listed and they said, oh, he's, you know, it's a terrible word, terrifying word, especially this time of year, reevaluation.
Ooh.
Oh, you never want to hear it reevaluated. He's got to get reevaluated. Oh no, I don't want to hear that.
Everybody's wondering too, like, you know, how's this all going to fit? And at least you're going to have to make a change before the end of preseason to fit everybody and sign Pacioretty or whatever. With Yarncroke not skating for now 3 or 4 days, I don't know that they're going to have to figure that out for a while. It seems like he might actually be hurt.
Well, so it's... I was talking about this about a few weeks ago. Hey, they actually have cap space going into the season and they're going to be able to accrue it. Every passing day, it appears that will not be the plan. I'm fairly confident they're going to LTIR Connor Dewar. And it looks like that could be a possibility with Yarncroke, although he's listed as day-to-day and the season doesn't begin for another 2 weeks. I have no idea what they're doing. No idea cap-wise. It feels like they're like, I think Lorentz is going to be a Leaf.
He looked good. I liked him last night.
I love that player, for the role. I think Pacioretty is going to be a Leaf on account of that's what everyone is saying. So, you know, I think it was CJ was saying it'll be sort of like the, who was it? Zach Aston Reese deal, where he signed for a very weird amount of money. And the reason was to maximize their LTIR. I think he got him down to $0 or something like that. I think that's what they're going to try to finagle with these guys. Even then, I still don't understand. Like Kyprios yesterday was like, yeah, Pacioretty's going to get like 1 mil, 1.1, 1.2. And I'm like, where with what?
I think
how?
If he was generalizing, if you watch the whole conversation, he was kind of just generalizing on like the same thing that everybody's been saying. And that whatever's left of the salary cap is just like, hey, this is the money that's left. This is what it's going to get. Like, it's not that he was saying, oh, it's going to be 900 or 1.1. It was just like, hey, whatever, $1 million left, 1.1 left, that's what he's going to get. You know, so it's not that specific where he's talking about the salary cap like he's a capologist and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's the context.
I still like it's been enjoyable to watch and pay attention to. I like this. Like I feel like in previous years it's been obvious what they were going to do. Like painfully, like you could telegraph what Leafs management was going to do. Now I'm sitting here like, I don't know who's going to be in the lineup.
That's what I was saying before camp. I was excited for that.
It's definitely fun.
Are we moving quickly past Nick Robertson?
No, we're actually coming back to
Okay. So we went in a lot of directions.
And I think obviously we'll work backwards here. The steal and the goal.
Fantastic.
If that is, thank you, Jesse. Exactly. If that's the only highlight from Nick Robertson last night, you're like, damn it, that man just made the team. That's exactly the kind of stuff Berube wants from him. Stick work on the guy, turn the puck over, and Nick has one of the best shots on the team.
Preseason's about adjustment to speed, right? And that looked like a player who could keep up, right? Taking advantage of a player who wasn't. At very least in that moment. I thought it was strange. I don't know which Habs defenseman it was, Barron. They were so casual with it, but Nick is never going to be casual about everything. He plays every game like it might be his last because it genuinely might be. Whether the team is going to trade him or he just decides to skate brain first into a hit again. Like he just seems to get creamed every time, but he always gets back up and he always tries his best. And he has this funny looking shot. Like it's so weird. He's just got one of those shots where I'm like, I don't understand how this is good, but goalies can't keep track of it. They can't keep up to it. And I think the difficulty he's had is finding room for himself. Well, if he creates a scenario for himself where he has a breakaway, that goalie's in trouble.
Right.
That goalie's in very big trouble. And with that play, I think he did good things for his opportunity to make this team. I'm going to go as far to say last night was, in the eyes of the Leafs organization, good for him. I know Leaf fans do not feel that way today. And I think I'm about to get into an argument with my friends. I think we all need to get over it.
Okay, Jesse.
In a game where nothing matters and not everybody's going 100% because it's an exhibition game, there are actually no points on the line. When you're a guy fighting for a lineup spot, your job is to be the guy going 100%. And it was Engstrom who he stole the puck from. When you're back there in the offensive zone and you have that opportunity to make a play that's just simply an effort play and stealing the puck and turning around and scoring, like that's what you want to see out of a player who's fighting for a lineup spot. It was the perfect play for a guy who needs those sorts of play to make the lineup. So I agree with you that it was a great night for Nick in the end of it all, that he was able to come up and make that play. But the one thing about Nick Robertson that's the difficult thing about him is that he's been good offensively. We know he is good on the offensive end. We know that we can get 14 goals out of him, and he's going to be one of the highest goals per 60. You pointed that out, where it's like isolate for goals per 60. He's going to be at the top there, and I think he's number 3 on the team last season, or number 2
the Leafs
behind Austin.
So weird. It's like Austin, Robertson, McMahon.
Yeah, because McMahon had that hot start. So the guy who's second on the team in goals per 60, we know he can do that at the NHL level. It's about the other stuff. And the other stuff includes not making a boneheaded decision, like pushing one of the top players on the team in the butt and causing him to hit somebody's knee in shin, you know?
Like just terrifyingly similar to Tavares Perry.
I want to say in the end, it's a good night for Nick, and I agree with that. But it's also, how much did you move the needle? It couldn't have moved that much because the other parts of the game are what we want you to fix. We want you to be not fast feet everywhere. We want you to just smarter hockey sense.
Yeah.
You know, all of those things are what Nick Robertson needs to do to get in the lineup regularly. And last night he showed the part of the game that he's good at, which is like play to your strengths, you know? So we got to also see more from Nick.
Well, and part of, so when it gets to the Nylander thing, can we pull that up? Do we have,
Sure.
So this is Robertson giving Nylander a push. This happens all the time in the NHL. The issue is that I don't think he told him he was going to do that.
Nylander has no idea this is coming.
Or if the situation warranted it. Because it can also be, Nick, move your feet. And that was the argument Nick Kypreos was making at intermission. It's Nick slows down and his feet stop moving so that he can boost Nylander. But if you're the guy fighting for the lineup, get in there and move your feet and get into the zone.
Yes.
Also, like, I'm not... That screenshot's terrible because lost in this conversation is that stick is in a very... He basically puts it between Nylander's butt cheeks.
That's a credit card swipe right there.
Yes. And so it's the reason Nylander goes down is because he was diving in a preseason game.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. Sorry, I was just doing an impression of the worst people in the world. The placement of the stick was too low. And that's why he falls. And I don't think Nylander needs your help.
No, he's pretty quick. That's the thing. Nylander's quicker than you.
He's quicker than almost everybody. Like
I look at this and
he's fine.
Was it Kipper called it a Bush League play? And that's what preseason's for, Bush League plays. To me, this is Nick Robertson doing what Steve mentioned earlier, which is he tries so hard sometimes it's almost too hard. And
this is
I don't want to victimize the guy, but you could tell this guy fucking wants it so bad.
I'm gonna turn the heat down on Robertson because I could go full hellfire and brimstone.
No, I don't think he can.
We all know it's stupid.
Sure,
it's stupid. He shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
And dangerous. And would I have different feelings about it if Nylander was hurt long term?
Mm-hmm.
You bet. Mm-hmm. I probably would. Would it change the logic that Nick used heading into the play? No. Is that fair? Also, no.
What?
Am I human? Yes.
Is the logic he used going into the play the good logic?
The logic is I'm going to do 1% better. Like I'm going to do whatever I can do. I'm going to help William Nylander do something good. And like, what if this boost helps Willie get the puck and it leads to offense? Maddie's laughing, but like this,
I'm not buying what you're selling.
This is no, but Jesse, there's nothing at stake for you. Like, this guy badly wants to play in the NHL and asked for a trade. And he signed his contract and he's here and he's trying to do everything. He's still fighting for his life to make the team because they went out and they got guys like Pacioretty and Lorentz, and I barely had a spot on this team without those guys, and now they're here. And Adam nailed it. He's doing way too much. And since Nylander's okay, I think it's water under the bridge, and it's a good teachable moment. Hey, Nick, no one does that.
Relax.
No one should ever do that. I don't even know about relax, but like, that's not going to get you on the team. What's going to get you on the team is what you did later in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where I felt, okay, we're getting somewhere. Because what he could have done was folded. And what he did do was he went out and he made a great play.
And Berube put him out, if I'm not mistaken, next shift.
That is a coach showing, hey, I know you can do this.
I know you can do better.
Because if you're Berube in that situation, you got to take him aside and say, listen, you got about 3 seconds to feel bad about that and you got to move on.
Yes.
And short memory. You'll deal with it after the game. You got to get out there and you got to earn a spot. And what he did, I thought, when we started with the great play that he made, there's a reason for that, because that is the lasting memory you should have from this. Obviously, this was silly, this was dumb, and Willie's okay and we're okay. So you don't need to do that. Simplify the game. Jesse mentioned it. When you're talking about what kept him out of the lineup, Sheldon Keefe scratching him for game 7 last year was completely unforgivable. I would fire Sheldon Keefe just based on that.
But he was zeros across the board.
But when you're looking, okay, he zeros across the board,
yeah,
but you can't fucking score in the series. You're going to take a scoring threat out.
Fair
okay,
enough.
Fine. Great. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Great work. Yeah, good job, everybody.
Fair enough.
My point is, this guy can put it in the net.
Yeah.
If this guy does simple shit where he's not dicking around with the puck at the blue line like he did last year, where he's not making cross ice passes through the neutral zone, if you simplify your game on the defensive zone, no one needs you to be Calle Yarncroke. Nobody needs you to be John Tavares in the defensive zone. All we need is for you to be simple, work on your zone exits, and we'll get you in a spot where you can score.
Get open and shoot.
He's going to score 25 goals this year if he plays.
And I think all of that is why the game itself is like a net even for Nick. Because he didn't show any improvement for last year, but he didn't take a step back. He showed he can score, but he shows that he's still doing boneheaded stuff.
Well, then there's the argument that last year he was a good player. You know what I mean? Like last year,
offensively,
and like he should be in the lineup anyway. He should be on pace for 15, 20 goals. Should be on pace for like 40-ish points.
Yeah, but
for under $1 million.
If
there's other parts of the game than Nick just scoring.
Yes.
And that's the part he struggles with. And this showed that he's still where he was last year. And if the idea for Nick to get an improvement, to get in the lineup is to improve, he's right where he is.
Yeah.
I
think maybe it's jitters left over from the Keefe era.
Yeah, I think having
but
not
it's pro
watched
sports,
I
don't have time for you to figure out your jitters.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't. How much leash you giving this pro athlete to figure out the rest of the game?
Having not watched every single Nick Robertson game, my guess is he's never done this before, and my guess is he'll never do this again.
Yeah,
I don't look at this as a bad habit he needs to get out of his game. You know what I mean?
No, it's not
being constantly out of position. That's bad.
Yeah, it's not the specific play. It's what this play represents about the rest of his game.
I understand.
It's not hey, he does this all the time. He pokes guys in the butt and makes them go down and swipes them in between the butt cheeks.
Directly in the gooch.
It's about his hockey sense.
Yeah.
And this is an example of that. And that is rest of the game. This is just an example of what he does outside of scoring.
By the way, I will also say that Willie did join the ice late in practice today,
which is not abnormal for him.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to be.
He takes the subway in Toronto.
Yeah.
He said at the Amazon thing that waking up early is not his best skill.
And same. Freaking same.
So yeah, it doesn't shock me that he was late.
Going into the game, I thought this was important too. We got to talk about Nylander because this whole shift to center is a topic of conversation. And Berube said, in my opinion, he's been better and better. I watch him in practice, situational stuff, coming in our zone. It's all about moving his feet without the puck. And that was going into the game.
Yes.
And
he does coast sometimes.
Right. So now that you're a center, you really can't anymore. I think he's got the maturity now that he knows that. How do you think, accepting what happened with Robertson last night, how do you think it's going?
Well, it's going back to what we talked about with Nylander coasting. Because of that, he's one of the most fun ISO cams in the league. Like, you know how there's a goal and they have a cam on one player and they'll go back 15 seconds before the goal. And he's doing the Pierre-Luc Dubois in Winnipeg special, or in Columbus special. Nothing. Blah! And like, he's just bad to hell. And his acceleration, no one can keep up with him. He's so ridiculous. It's preseason. It's difficult to glean too much, but what we haven't seen is like a huge glut of stupid decisions or blown assignments where you're like, oh, he can't do this.
Yeah.
Now the speed is going to jump up and the games are going to start to count, and he is going to make those mistakes and he is going to blow it. And he might even cost you a game or two, right? Or at very least a goal or two. And it's going to make people upset. And people are going to react and say, this is why he can't do it. And it's on Craig Berube and the Leafs organization to have patience and give it an honest shot. I have been adamant all summer long. I don't think this team can enter the season with the core four again. I don't. They're doing it. So it's crazy, out of your mind nuts to go into the season with the core four in the exact same configuration, which is Nylander and Marner on the wings, Matthews and Tavares, top two centers, away we go. You find two guys to play the left. You can't do it again. This is as close to fundamental change as we're going to get with the Leafs. And if it doesn't work, I don't think this team can simply go, well, then we'll just put Tavares back there.
No, they're going to have to make a move.
I mean, they can.
No, listen,
they
that's
can
why I think this is going to work.
For a bit, but like, I think heading into the playoffs, barring other large injuries, your priority has to be, all right, we need to get the best center available.
Right. Jesse, any thoughts?
On Willie at center?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think Steve nailed it in that, at least it's
always
something.
do.
At least it's something different. You look at the roster and how they've just leaned even heavier into the core four idea, and that like, okay, you got Mitch at 10.9, and then from there, from the forward group, it goes to Domi at 3.7.
Yeah.
Like that's insane the way the cap is structured for them.
Did you hear CJ on CJ show? I think it was yesterday. He says there's a greater than zero chance that a Mitch extension gets done before the season begins.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Certainly feeling warm in that.
Well, I don't recall anyone saying that previously. I every now and then I listen to that and I go, we're going to go back. What? Sorry, what? And I was screwing around with the Blue Room, switching up some things, but I couldn't believe he said that because I hadn't really heard a whisper in that direction. What
did you guys think of the London Knights line of Cowan, Marner, Domi?
It was fine. It's difficult. I watching preseason games is a skill. Mm-hmm. Justin Bourne, I think, is very good at it, and he did that for Sportsnet. So I think it was the second game where Robertson is on the top power play because no one's in the lineup, mm-hmm. and he gets a really good shot and he misses, and fans are like, oh, he missed. And Bourne doesn't get caught up in that. He goes, he was in good position. He's got a good shot. That's a clean look, and that's a look he'll score from.
Yeah.
Easton Cowan how differently would we be talking about him if that really good scoring chance he had where Marner was the screen in front, if that had just gone in?
Yeah.
We'd be like, oh, well, this guy might make the team.
I thought it was the best I've seen Easton Cowan look.
Is that enough?
I don't think so.
This is like...
I think they have too much of a glut.
Leaf fans are bored. We've talked about this. A lot of them are just not as excited about this team and this season as they wish they were. I think a lot of people are trying to talk themselves into it, and they're too smart. People have been hurt too many times. They lost in the first round again, and then they didn't really do anything. Tanev was a good signing.
I'm sorry. Oliver Ekman-Larsson had an 87% expected goals for last night.
Oh man, that's so fucking
He might
cool.
be the greatest free agent signing the Leafs have ever made.
Like, my brain will not process that he's 95.
I know, it's crazy.
Every time he's on the ice, I'm like, who's that?
I know.
Every time. Next shift, who's that? Anyway.
I disagree with you. I do think they did more stuff than you're giving them credit for.
No. They did more stuff. Is it enough?
I think they did more stuff in the ways that I actually think you're wrong on that. And I'll stop you there on that, because I think the Tanev signing is far more valuable than people are giving it credit for.
I agree.
I agree. I think Ryan O'Reilly was right when he said we got to de-emphasize the core four. And what the Leafs did, yes, they kept the core four. Yes, they'll probably continue to keep them. You got Tanev. Who cares about the term? It's about winning now. You got OEL. You needed puck movement. He played really well. And here's a guy that just won the Stanley Cup. That's great.
Yep.
And I want to do a little particular spotlight. Anthony Stolarz.
That's a good goalie, man.
Holy smokes, is he ever?
Yeah, big fan.
And
big fan.
And I think when you look at what the issues were with the team last year, yes, scoring in the postseason was a problem. You were also missing Matthews and Nylander for a good chunk of that series. And I would say
this is why the April jar, it's got to be this big.
Yeah, 100%.
It's what
I would say though.
What was the problem in October?
Well, Samsonov.
There you go.
And so that is a nice problem not to have.
Yes.
You got two guys who you know are objectively better than Samsonov. Samsonov at his best is a tantalizing goaltender.
That was the problem. Heading into last season, there wasn't any real reason to think Samsonov would stink.
Right.
And then he was awful.
He stunk. Yeah.
It was awful.
So I look at the Stolarz thing and I'm like, listen, think about the difference that can make. The fact that you have a goalie that can actually stop pucks regularly. Mm-hmm. We did not have that in October. We did not have that in March. We did not have that in April.
He's big, athletic, calm. Really like him. What's not to like?
You know what else I like? He's healthy. That's the other problem with the other goalie.
Oh, you shut your mouth. You shut your mouth.
Joe Wool and Treliving said
There's still 3 preseason games left. You shut your mouth.
Yeah, you're right. You gotta have a healthy goalie too.
Yes.
And Joe Wool, I think, is the real deal. Got to stay healthy. What is it? And for the rest of the preseason, maybe you switch those guys in for half a game. Give the rest of it to Matt Murray and Hildebeest, because you don't really what are you really aiming to get out of this?
I don't
need some guy in the AHL. Like, the reason Tavares has got a lower body injury is because Pizzetta caught him. Mm-hmm. And was it a harder than you need to hit in the preseason? Sure, but Pizzetta's trying to earn a job.
No, you gotta look at it. Jorge Masvidal. It was super necessary. I'm on the ice.
Yeah.
So are you.
Yeah, 100%.
Fresh meat.
I just feel like, let's preserve a good thing. We got 3 of the 4 already battling some injuries. Mm-hmm. Let's not push our luck. Goalies look good. Maybe a little bit more. I need to see a little more Wall. And let Hildeby and Matt Murray duke it out for third string.
I think we're going to start seeing full games.
Yeah.
There's only 3 left, right? No one's played a full game yet?
No.
I don't think.
Nope.
So you'll probably get a Stolarz one, probably get a Wool one, and maybe one where they split.
And this is where I think they've made big changes, is that last year's team, it was crazy. What a sequence of events. Domi was cold coming out of the gate. Bertuzzi was a non-player.
He was horrible.
He was terrible, non-option.
Yeah.
Samsonov was brutal. And Klingberg was not good either.
Klingberg it was sheltered Tyler Bertuzzi. How bad Klingberg was made people not care about how bad Bertuzzi was.
So if you can have career average performances from all of these guys, I think it's a better team.
No one is arguing the Leafs are bad. No one.
I think they're better.
I also think they're better. And this is, again, the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta, I don't know how you get this fan base jacked about this team without tricking them.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. They're nearly the same.
Mm.
And even if they weren't nearly the same, no one's going to believe that they're different until the end of the first round and whether or not the Leafs are still playing. April Jar.
You know what they could do? They could go well. They could go win a division. I think
that'd be cool.
I think that'd get people interested.
That'd be cool. No, like the Atlantic is wide open.
Yeah, if Boston doesn't have Swayman, if Florida's tired, if Tampa's old, like I don't know.
There's lots. There's no reason the Leafs shouldn't at least compete for it. You know? There you go, Adam. Like outside of the individual races, can Matthews win another Rocket or, maybe even challenge for MVP, stuff like that. Yeah. Win the division. Win the league.
Go win the league. Yeah.
Go win the President's Trophy.
Yeah.
Why not?
100%.
Try it.
Go set some records. Regular season records. That's what we're after.
Yeah.
The D pairing from last night looked like they'll be the D pairing to start opening day, right?
Can you run them through?
It was Riley, Tanev, OEL, McCabe, Benoit, Liljegren. I don't see any changes there.
Yeah, Baruba's not screwing around. Eh?
What do you mean?
Well, it's just less than, now we're halfway through, but he began game 3 out of 6. Like, here's what it is.
I think you got to give him a run, right? You got to try him at least one time, and I guess this was the game.
Well, at this point, I don't think it's about, it's about building chemistry for sure, but it's less about, all right, let's see who's going to make the team, and it's more about, let's evaluate, is this good enough in the preseason? Because it's not out of the realm of possibility. Berube just goes, nah, I don't like it, and they got to make a move. Or someone becomes available on waivers, right? Like he just got here, notably, but guys are going to start getting waived. And Berube's got to know by the time that starts happening, whether or not he kind of likes this group.
And I think the D I think it was good enough. I don't think there's need any changes. Like I don't think you bring in any waiver guys. I think it's good.
Simone Benoit open ankle blocking a shot in the final seconds of a preseason game. It was like, never change, Benny.
An intense guy.
You nut.
Notable yesterday too, not having to do with the Leafs unless you guys have more to add to the Leafs.
The Max Pacioretty turnover wasn't great.
Not great.
Yeah, I feel like somebody at that age should know not to do that in your own end.
I mean,
passing it across the ice and then leading directly to a goal. That was a sequence that backed up Justin Bourne's skepticism about, are we sure about this guy? But I think we're sure about this guy. But also, can't make that play.
Here's the difference. If Nick Robertson makes that play, we're like, that's why he can't play.
Yes.
Pacioretty, who's had 2 Achilles injuries, but the name brand does a lot.
Yes.
Name brand does a lot. I mean, if Nick Robertson had a 2-goal game like Pacioretty did, we'd be like, here he is, and then he has the turnover. He hasn't learned shit. Name brand does a lot. This is a former captain. This is a multi-time 30 goal scorer, I'm pretty sure. Multi-time 60 plus points. The name brand of Max Pacioretty has been really, really good. Hasn't been that way for a few years. That's why he's here.
Exactly.
If things had gone well, if his health held up, like he wouldn't be here. Leafs wouldn't be able to afford him. He'd be somewhere else, lighting it up. But he's here. Technically on a PTO. They keep saying, well, he's got a contract. Where? It hasn't been signed. You know what I mean? If he's garbage for the next 3 games, I'm not entirely convinced there's going to be a contract. So, it's the preseason. Everyone's got stuff to work on. He can't do that again. You don't get many more mistakes like that.
But I think, to your point, like name brand means a lot. That he knows he shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
It's not like a young guy where you got to teach him a lesson. He knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
Yep.
Robertson,
that's why it was worth
you
just talking
young
about.
idiot, you young, dumb, stupid idiot.
Yeah.
And then, a young guy who's learning his way through the league, we carve him like a Thanksgiving turkey. A 35-year-old who's been in the NHL for hundreds of games does it. And we're like,
But then
he won't do it again.
the other side of like, is he losing a step? Because once you get to a certain age, then the conversation goes back to when you were a kid. And it's like, oh, you might not have it anymore. Instead of you don't have it, you might not have it anymore. And we're not at that point with Pacioretty yet, for sure. But like, there's always that turning moment.
So here's
to generalize it.
Here's where we're at. We've seen the really good from Patches. 2 goals and an assist. We've seen that, which we'll categorize as really bad. It's 3 games left. Fair bet he plays 2. He has to be better. That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
I want to throw this at you. So yesterday it was announced Live Nation is going to build a non-permanent concert venue at Downsview Park. Downsview Park, for those that don't know, is a gigantic piece of land north of Toronto. It's up where we actually play Steve's Easter Seals tournament with the Eric Lindros Easter Seals kind of connection.
Near
Scotiabank Pond.
Scotiabank Pond.
Yeah, it's up by
and
town.
Near York University.
it's where they actually teach tomorrow's pilots how to fly.
Oh.
Because there's an airport there. That's where the school is. And it's a 520-acre site. I have been to a concert there. It was called Sarstock, Rolling Stones, AC/DC, Guess Who, Justin Timberlake, about 20 years ago. And it has, from time to time, hosted gigantic outdoor festivals. But Toronto really doesn't have a spot for that. And the site will be redeveloped into housing eventually in the next couple of decades. We're just not sure when. So it's going to be the first massive open air stadium that we have had since Exhibition Stadium, which closed about 25, 30 years ago. And what's interesting here, guys, is for the hockey perspective and the sports perspective, it got people instantly talking about an NFL team in Toronto. And
Really?
could we potentially have another site for an open air outdoor game? 30,000 seats. The rest will be standing. So you could still have an outdoor stadium, and you can also put like what they've done with the CFL with BMO Field is they put you just put more seats up. You can just do that, put bench seating in for one venue. But right now, by the way, it's going to be called Rogers Stadium.
You bet.
That was the worst part of the whole announcement.
Yeah. Rogers Arena, Rogers Place, Rogers Stadium. Rogers Stadium.
Oh, Rogers Center.
Rogers Center.
Rogers Center.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it. Rogers.
What's the next one?
I don't know.
Rogers Building.
Yeah.
They already have that, actually.
Place, Arena, Stadium Center.
Yes.
Yeah, are the 4 big ones.
Yes.
And the offices are Rogers Campus.
Yes.
Well, that's...
I don't know. They're running out of names of places.
Thanks, Steve.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I'm sure there's like a Rogers Auditorium somewhere too. Like I'm sure. But what's going to be interesting is that it'll have 30,000 seats, rest standing, 3/4 stadium, removable standard stage. And so artists like Taylor Swift, she is doing 5 or 6 nights at Rogers Center in November. Somebody like her could come back next year, or the Rolling Stones, because they're getting older and they only do outdoor stadiums now. They do football stadiums rather than doing like hockey rinks, because they're coming towards the end of their careers and they're legendary artists. When you have something like that, like there's the 65,000 capacity Osheaga at Jean Drapeau Espace in Montreal.
Good job.
We didn't have that in Toronto. So I think this is going to be interesting. I think we're going to see an outdoor game. They're saying it's going to open next June. So they announced it yesterday. It'll open next June. That's how
This thing's going to be built of plywood.
Well, that's how not
Honestly.
permanent it is, right? But I think it could be, they think it's going to be 12 to 15 performances a year. My bet is the Oasis tour is going to be the first stop, because they have announced Toronto, or they haven't announced, but it's leaked that it'll be Toronto. And then after that, I'm thinking it would be very, very cool to get an outdoor game up there.
Yes, I agree. But listen, we need this.
We do need this.
We need more cool things to do in the city. We do.
And it's on the subway line.
The first thing I thought of was, you won't catch me dead going to that venue without being paid to do it.
Really?
Fuck no.
Why not?
Fuck no. As a suburbanite, as someone who lives outside the city, absolutely the fuck
the
not.
worst location in the world.
It's the worst fucking location on planet Earth. And this is gonna.
Why?
A lot of people are not gonna understand this, but you know, because you don't know the area. But I'm sure if you live in a big city, you have an area like this. That place, 50,000 people, and you said they have a what?
Subway.
Subway what?
Subway.
Stop.
Downsview-
They have a
they have a
subway.
Downsview
Stop.
Are you kidding me?
Well, that's what
getting
they have.
up to Downsview from the subway.
That's what I would imagine they would do.
It's literally impossible.
Well, I mean, when you look at Formula One, or you look at Formula One's done on an island in Montreal.
There are
It
prisoners.
takes 2 hours to leave.
There are prisoners in Kingston Pen that if you gave them the option of just staying put in Kingston or being forced to ride that subway up and down all day, would stay in prison. 50,000 people? No shot.
Now, I think
no shot.
Maddie,
it's
I
going to
think, is
take
excited
you
about
2
this.
hours to get out of that fucking thing.
Maddie,
no
you're-
shot.
Maddie, you're down though, right? Yeah.
I'd do it.
Yeah, of course you would.
Maddie, how old are you?
You're not in that demo
24.
anymore.
24. There you go. I'm a grown adult. 24. Meh, you know. Is it near a GO train station? Maddie, I got terrible news. It is nowhere fucking near a GO train station.
No. Getting up to
No, let's Downsview Park go.
Downsview Park. Is that
there's
a
a-
bus station
but
or a
that's
train station?
that's like one of the B lines.
It is a beeline, but it is
like
there.
if anything that's not on the Lakeshore,
Does the
anything
B stand for bus?
that's not on Lakeshore
it's true.
West is annoying,
It's a train.
or Lakeshore West or East Lakeshore
Yeah.
line.
I will agree, though, that our urban planning system is in shambles.
Getting around Toronto is fucking horrible.
Getting up to Yorkdale, Shepherd
So
West
hard.
area. Then why are you advocating for this?
It just-
we need it.
Getting to Yorkdale
Because we need
via transit is basically, it's just a little south of Downsview on the other side of the 401. This is such niche Toronto talk, but it's impossible.
No, this place. I think Toronto has lost the privilege to make cool new places, and to earn that privilege back, has to come up with cool new transits to get to those places.
How about
You do not get to build cool new places until this place is not the worst city to navigate in North America.
How about tunnel underneath the 401?
Anything. Try
what they were-
anything.
That's what they were talking about yesterday.
Try anything. Can we have can we have subways? Can we have this? Well, okay. Here's beer in grocery stores. Oh, okay, fucking great. Dude, I don't care until like they shut a lane down on the DVP, and like the economy of the country takes a hit. Like it's brutal. It's brutal. I know this has nothing to do with sports, but there's my little rant. My first, second, and third thought when I heard this wasn't, oh, cool, a new thing. It was, you won't catch me dead unless I'm being paid to be there.
Now, I think there are a lot of people in North York in that area who are going to love this.
That's great. It's
they're
local
close
to them.
They're close to it. And I think that is, if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs and you're looking for an outdoor game, here's a great way to reach out to your fans that it does take them 2 hours to get to a game if they are even going.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
It's-
because that area of that part of the greater Toronto area is fucking road warrior. Like driving in it is a nightmare. I don't know what it is about west of Yonge Street where you just don't require a license to drive. It's, oh my God. No, you won't catch me dead. No
Now,
shot.
I'm excited to go.
This isn't to say that I don't think you're ever going to step foot in there, Adam.
I'm going to Oasis.
You don't leave your house.
I'm going to Oasis. Absolutely.
You don't go to things, so I don't know how you're going to
You
go
go
there.
to things.
Jesse's so right.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm going to Oasis.
All right. Did you go to Veld?
Why would I go to Vel?
Because it was held at Downsview.
No, I'm not
the
going
point
to
I was
Veld.
trying to make is that
I'm not going to go rip fucking drugs and go to Vel. Like,
The point I'm trying to make is that
Nerd.
it's not like they didn't already do this over the course of the summer, over a weekend. Like Veld is held at Downsview over the course of 3 days, and you're getting just as many people in there as you're getting for this imaginary venue that's going to be opening next year. So they have proof of concept that they can do this. Like Veld is successful every season.
Asterisk, I would do it if I was wildly high. If I was wildly high, I'd be able to
Veld's-
stomach
So
the
there's
experience.
no doubt that I think that'll be successful. They'll do it. It's just not great.
Yeah, no, it's like
They don't have land in Toronto, and the one place they have land is all the way up there, and it's in a very inconvenient place.
Yeah.
they make the Leafs and the Raptors and the Blue Jays and TFC and the Marlies and now by extension Toronto PWHL. They make it, and the Argos, they make it preposterously easy for, if you don't live in Toronto, here's this really easy way to get in. Come here, take your money that you got from other cities, spend it here, and beat it without ever actually setting foot like on the streets of Toronto. Like it's crazy. This does not have that, and it's a venue 2.5 times the size of the ACC. Nightmare. Absolutely not. No, thank you. Like if you are from a certain distance east, you won't be stepping foot.
Yeah, and the idea that an NFL team would go up there, it'd be a little disappointing because of just getting there would be impossible for the person that lives downtown or just east of the city.
It's like having the Jets play in Albany. Like I just,
to me,
the Jets do play outside of New York, and it's very inconvenient.
Oh really? Oh, yeah, there you go.
They play out in Newark, I think it is. Yeah.
Like, dude, leaving Foxborough. When the outdoor game was there, Habs Bruins, leaving Gillette Stadium, I was like, people live like this? So we're just all going to collectively not move for the next hour and a half.
Yeah, LA.
That's what we're doing?
LA has the same problem with SoFi Stadium being out in Inglewood, I believe. And there's no transit going out there because LA's transit system's awful at getting out to those places. And they have this same problem with SoFi. The people don't go there. They don't go there outside of going to those football games. Same thing with where Balmer's new arena is, which is right there. There's no transit out there. And I don't know, if you have the opportunity to build something new, don't replicate all of these places that have made this mistake. And I guess the idea is we're going to build up and around it because there's going to be stuff like that in the other areas. That's the idea. You're going to build around SoFi and Balmer's new stadium out in Inglewood. But here, there's already stuff there. Like, we got a giant mall just south of there, the 401. There's so much housing around Downsview and all that stuff. There's nothing to build up. You're just putting it in an inconvenient area. So I just wish you had planned a little better, Live Nation.
Well, and then they're going to put housing there, which is good. We need more housing. But
they have housing.
How are any of those people going to get anywhere? Oh, I live in this fucking prison. Like,
well, I think the idea is to probably develop it.
Nah.
Yeah, is that the idea? Or are they just going to build more places to spend money while not spending money on making it easier to get to those places?
Yeah, with this, you have to come with some sort of transit plan for the next 20 years of Toronto.
Make it easier for the citizens to spend money instead of spending money on the citizens. That's what the government always does.
And there would probably be some sort of expansion of that GO train station that's way out there, because that's there and that'd be convenient, but just some sort of just get better.
Yeah, well, everyone enjoy that plywood hunk of shit. I'm not going.
I am excited. I was excited about it. Maddie, why don't we go to Oasis together and tell Steve and Jesse what a great time we had.
Today is gonna be the day.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you guys videos. Be like, wow, we're having the best time. And
oh yeah, that's gonna make me miss. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be like, fuck, I wish I was there.
Back to hockey. The NHLPA has officially filed a grievance on behalf of Ryan Johansson for his essentially canceled contract by the Philadelphia Flyers. Remains to be seen what happens here, but I would think there's going to be some sort of monetary settlement, and that this never actually makes it to some sort of public setting where we're going to hear about it.
I hope the Flyers get dinged if there is.
Yeah?
Yeah. If there's a monetary settlement, that should go against your cap. But like, what are we talking about?
So here's what I want to know, guys. Like, let's say it takes 6 months for that settlement to happen. Will it be applied retroactively to the cap?
Yeah, 100%.
Or will it, and if it's not, who is going to call shenanigans? Like, let's say the Flyers have to settle and pay multiple millions here, and the NHL pulls like a Mike Richards, where it's like, oh yeah, it went away and nobody talked about it, and we're just going to pretend.
Yeah. No, if I'm the Canucks or Panthers, I call shenanigans on absolutely every instance.
Because of Luongo?
Because of the Luongo cap recapture. You didn't let us have our fun. No one gets to have it. Nope. I'm complaining. Nope. Don't feel like it. Nope. I still don't understand why Mike Richards is on a reduced rate for the LA Kings. Like we've talked about that. And it, without knowing all the details, like it's hard to have a hard and fast opinion about this because we don't know all the details, but it feels like Ryan Johansson and the Philadelphia Flyers were in the middle of doing something that lots of other teams have done. The difference is the Flyers really, really wanted to get rid of him. Right?
I mean, they could have Roby Daw Island him.
It sounds like the Vegas Golden Knights were starting to, lay the breadcrumbs that, we're going to do this with Robin Lehner. Not an apples to apples thing, but sounded very similar. And it sounds like the people involved nipped that in the bud real fast, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But I don't understand. I'd like to know what Ryan Johansson did that is so different from what anyone else has done.
Well, the word is that he deceived the Avalanche based on his injury.
The Avalanche or the Flyers?
The Avalanche. And then the Flyers were also deceived, and that he waited till the end of the summer to get the procedure that they recommended. That's the scuttlebutt.
I don't think he deceived the Avalanche because he played up until he was traded.
Right. Apparently there was some sort of from what I have read, and I don't know how confirmable any of this is, that the Avs are claiming they didn't know the extent. And I don't know how that's possible.
So is that the Avs trying to avoid what happened to the Senators, where
Maybe.
the Senators got dinged
But
for
here's what I think.
not
guys.
having all the details with the Golden Knights?
The reason that Ryan Johansson was traded essentially from the Blue Jackets, because he was supposed to be their young, cool number one center, kind of like Pierre-Luc Dubois, are we sensing a pattern here, is that he and Torts hated each other.
Yeah.
So when the Flyers acquired him, my question was always, in what world is Ryan Johansson ever going to play for this team? And the answer was he wasn't. And he wasn't going to report to Lehigh Valley.
Yeah, but you're going to get whatever your salary was in Lehigh Valley without having to dock escrow. Dude, take it. Lots of players have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if he's healthy,
Yeah.
do it.
The
there
story's
is
confusing.
incentive for him to play.
Sure.
I guess there's also incentive for him to just sit at home.
Yeah. I know that he would have never played under Torts. Never.
Right.
Would never have happened. So when the Flyers acquired him, my question is,
You can loan him out.
under what circumstances, other than that deal itself, were they like, what do we, like, they must have known, okay, Torts hates this guy hates Torts, he's never going to play here.
It's purely cap.
Right.
Yeah.
But then, so you acquire him. That doesn't give him the right to make up just say, hey, my injury is now worse and I can't play for you.
No,
Right.
of course not.
Yeah.
I'm just skeptical that's what happened.
Okay.
What do you mean?
I'm skeptical he was like, yeah, haha, I'm going to be real sneaky about this. And like, how would he think he could possibly get away with that? Right?
It's a little fishy on his end because he played right up until he was traded.
Yes, but the incentive for Johansson to keep playing, or rather the incentive seems to be there for the Flyers, right? Because they get out from underneath this monetarily, right? But like, are they fighting because they really want him to play for Lehigh Valley? Like, is that it?
I think no. The NHLPA is filing the grievance on behalf of Ryan Johansson.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because the Flyers terminated his contract because they said he was lying about this injury.
Right.
Right. So it's the onus is on Ryan Johansson here is fighting for his money back because he thought he could, after he was traded to the Flyers, he thought like, oh, now I'm going to get surgery for this injury and I can go on LTIR, collect my check, become a free agent, leave.
Mm-hmm.
But they said, no, you didn't have this injury. You're doing this unceremoniously. We got it. We're going to cut you.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
It's an interesting story, right?
That seems like something so blatant and dumb. And like, maybe that's just straight up what happened. You ever hear a story that's so dumb you have a hard time believing it?
I don't think it's dumb. I think like he thought that players kind of do this all the time where it's like, oh, if I want to get surgery tomorrow, I can because I have this injury. And he thought he could exercise it in this instance and know everybody would be okay with it. And you could just collect his check and the Flyers would be like, yeah, go away. But the Flyers are like, no, we actually want this money. We're going to cut you.
Are there similarities to Jack Eichel and the Sabres where Eichel's like, I'm going to get this surgery. And the Sabres were like, well, no, you're not allowed. And this is simply Johansson went and got a surgery without getting it cleared with the Flyers.
No.
I haven't heard that.
I don't think that's.
Yeah.
No, I don't think those.
So
it's difficult to know without all the
it's
details.
going to be one to watch, but I have a sneaking suspicion, guys, that this settles. No one talks, and the Flyers do not get dinged on the cap.
Yeah, I think that's
what's
probably-
going to happen.
How it should be because that's the precedence.
Not
the
a
league. Is
Dennis Bernstein, from who writes about the LA Kings, is hearing that Drew Doughty has a fractured ankle, but there is no other damage, and everybody's worried about his Achilles. Now,
That's crazy.
do you remember from so this is a game from a couple nights ago?
Yeah.
He ran into us for the Vegas Golden Knights thing, and he needed to be helped off the ice. And this is a guy who is very healthy most of the time.
Well, when I saw his reaction, like it wasn't one of his reaction seemed very similar to reactions I've seen where people rupture their Achilles, where it's not even necessarily like he's down, he's yelling, he's screaming. There's like, go back and look at Kevin Durant when he got hurt.
Oh my God.
He just sort of went down and was like, fuck, like, something really bad just happened. And, if a guy breaks their leg skateboarding, any video I've ever seen is they're screaming bloody murder. So Doughty handling that so calmly, and you see him say my ankle, I'm like, that's his Achilles 100% easy. So for it to just be a fracture is great news for him and the Kings, because bones are actually easier to heal.
They also have a significant amount of young talent that could probably benefit from using that time, and then gives him a little bit of padded space to really actually get fully healthy and not race back.
All of a sudden, Brant Clark and Jordan Spence
pretty valuable,
might
right?
be playing 20 plus minutes a night.
Yeah. And what's going to be fascinating too is apparently at their camp, LA has switched up their style completely. So they're not playing the 1-3-1 anymore, and they're going to be a far more fast moving, high speed team.
They have the talent for it. Yeah.
I think it actually lends it to what LA has better than what they were playing before.
Well, that's during our season preview, and this is why I was so down on the Kings. I was looking at the team they had and the team that we recognize them as, and I'm like, this doesn't match. And so
I know
it's good. It's good to hear that they're trying something different. They should be doing what the Stars did. They were this shut down Metapod team, and kind of subtly over time, it's like, wait a sec, these guys score all the time. Like, these guys are actually run and gun hockey. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Spencer Carpery, did you guys see this?
No.
I guess preseason does matter to some people, because Washington started preseason 0-2. And
so they've lost 6 straight games.
Spencer said to the media, I'll be totally honest with you. There hasn't been a lot of separation thus far at camp. I haven't seen someone take the bull by the horns, own that spot, and go, holy.
That's a good coach. That's a challenge, right? You're challenging all the players on your roster. He's just being honest, right? This is the Caps. If you look at the bottom of the lineup, there's room for improvement. There's room for guys to come in. There's a lot of young guys who might be taking it for granted that they have a spot. He's upping the standard for the Washington Capitals. That's all he's done since he's joined them. So yeah, good for him.
Like that. Are you interested in seeing? Are you interested in knowing just how bad the Ducks will be this year?
Oh, I saw this.
So John Gibson underwent an emergency appendectomy.
Oh, this is something I thought you were going somewhere else.
And is going to miss 3 to 6 weeks of action.
Do goalies need their core?
Just a little important, yeah.
That's so bad.
Which is crazy. An emergency appendectomy is like, there's nothing you can do about that. What did you see?
I saw a preseason lineup. It was, how teams will do their juiced lineup and their who are these people lineup? Half the names I'm like, you're made up. You're not.
Be a player.
There were put it this way. When I went through the roster, I went, I know that one. It was a tough look.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough start for them. A little shout out to John Tortorella. This is a bit of an older story, but Guy Gaudreau was brought to Flyers camp. That's Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau's dad. And I thought this was very cool because Meredith Gaudreau said, John and Maddie would have loved this. They're so proud of their dad. I know this made them smile as they watched down from heaven. And what a great opportunity and what a smart move by John to do something like that. This is a Flyers team that, by all accounts, Johnny probably should have been on had they not made the moves they made.
Right.
And I think it's making the best out of a bad situation. And for the Flyers, it's going to be a battle for them to be relevant this year. What a nice little. I think there's a boost there too.
It doesn't cost anything to be kind.
Right.
This was an easy thing to do, and I think sometimes you go through something and people say, let me know if I can do anything, and they mean it. I believe that they mean it, but you got to be. Sometimes when people are grieving, you got to be proactive. Yeah, and this was the Flyers being proactive, and I think the invitation was such a fabulous gesture. And John Tortorella remains one of the more complicated people in the National Hockey League. We know his reputation and how bombastic he is, but I do think at the core of him, he's a good person.
Oh yeah. I don't think anybody would doubt that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. Now,
Jesus, Adam.
I don't know how much speed I got left.
I'm so excited for the weekend for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. There is a couple things. So Jesse, I sent a video, and then I was hoping Jesse could bring us through this because the first video is something that went viral yesterday that if you haven't seen it yet, it is extremely wholesome. This is the Canyon Ice Hockey Federation joining the double IHF and finding out that they are in fact included. Have a look.
We're in, people. 103. Wow.
Unanimous. Unanimous. Fucking idiot. I ruined such a great moment. What a dumbass.
Why did you yell? Anonymous?
Because the votes were unanimous. The votes were unanimous, and I said anonymous.
We are anonymous. We are Legion.
Yeah, they were approved.
We do not forgive. We do not forget.
103-0. Yeah, definitely anonymous. Yeah.
Dude, just put the Guy Fawkes mask on.
Fucking idiot. Stupid idiot.
Amazing. Now, Jesse, do you mind bringing us through this next story? I did send it over.
Which one's this?
It's the it's a bit of a wild card to throw at you, but we talked about the Utah Yeti. And we talked about the mascot and how, I was thinking Monsters Inc. Yeti, wouldn't that be fun? But it turns out there already was a Yeti mascot in the NHL.
Right.
Yes.
I brought up Howler.
That's right. And I think
Colorado Avalanche's original mascot.
And I think it's only fair that you bring up why Howler is no longer the mascot of the Colorado Avalanche before I die.
All right. This is the last thing we'll do and let Adam go. This is an article from 9 News NBC. Before Bernie, there was Howler, the story behind the Colorado Avalanche's original mascot. Denver. Before Bernie entertained fans at Colorado Avalanche games, there was Howler. Standing more than 7 feet tall, Colorado's friendliest Bigfoot, is what they called him, burst onto the scene when the Avs came to Denver from Quebec City in '95. They stole the team! He's the reason many of those classic Avalanche jerseys you see have the footprint on them. Classic patch. They should bring it back. But Howler just kind of disappeared in 2001. Ooh, spooky. What is this? Haunting of Hill House? And the Avs were without a mascot until Bernie arrived in 2009. They went 8 years without a mascot. Holy cow. Details are scarce about what happened before Howler's exit. only an Associated Press story detailing a March 1999 incident at McNichols Arena. What we know is that Howler and a fan named Linda got into a scuffle. Howler? What the hell? Linda Van Hook told 9 News she was wearing her then boyfriend's Blackhawks jersey when she went outside for a smoke break between periods. You cannot do that today.
That's
you know, this story's from
9/11.
1999 because you could just go in and out an arena and just have a smoke break.
Yeah.
Wow. Van Hook said Howler was going around bonking fans on the head with rolled up posters, and he bonked her. She said she pushed him. He pushed back, and before long, the pair were in a scuffle. Van Hook said security broke up the fight and put them in separate rooms while police took statements. She told 9 News Howler kicked her in the stomach during the scuffle, and she
Jesus.
went to the hospital to get checked out. The trail goes quiet about Howler after that. At the time, a spokesman for the then owner of the team told AP, "My understanding is that there was an incident. That's about it." A lot of fans say he seemed to just disappear. Van Hook, who now lives in Florida, told 9 News, "I guess I was the end of Howler."
Wow.
There you go. That's the end of the story.
So, first of all, that's an incredible find, and I didn't know that.
Shout out to Justin Fisher for that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Second of all, Howler's innocent. And you know how I know Howler's innocent? Howler is a suit. The guy inside a Howler got into a scuffle with Linda.
Yeah.
Howler's a suit. I'm thinking they could have just kept Howler and hired a new guy to be in the suit.
You could have just kept the suit.
But
buy a
instead-
whole new suit.
You went without Howler for like a decade
8 years.
because the guy in Howler's suit bonked a lady on the head and then fought her. What the fuck?
That's automatic termination. Like it has to be because your one job as a mascot is to interact with fans and do the
Yes.
jolly, lovable thing. So if you can't do your job, you should be fired as a mascot.
Yes.
Like
Also,
there's no
but,
defense
like,
of Howler here.
You don't
But-
need to get rid of the mascot.
You could just put a new guy in the suit.
Here's my question. How much of the suit was this person wearing when they gave their statement to police?
That's funny. Yeah, he just
You
took
know
off
they
the
were
head.
wearing part of it.
Yeah, I assume he just took off the head and it was just pure comedy.
What, dude, they're
Something
so
out of like
hot.
Always Sunny, you know.
They're so hot. In this
Also,
thing.
as a mascot, do you not have to accept that people, especially kids, will punch and kick you?
Yeah. That's why he deserved to be fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Or she, we don't know.
You don't need a full, like, that's pre-social media.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even, nobody would have known.
No, right now, if that happens, if Gritty fights some Devils fan, like there's a TikTok about it, and then it goes viral, and it's on Twitter for like 48 hours, and then Gritty loses his job, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but this is 99. Who knows?
Justice for the suit. You know what I mean? Justice for Howler. Oh, the other guy? No. He can go to jail. But the guy inside the suit, or inside the suit rather, didn't do anything.
Now, guys, wouldn't it be cool if first Utah-Colorado game in Utah, here comes Howler, rips off the Avs jersey to reveal HC.
Oh, man.
And then,
Instant rivalry. He's a traitor.
wouldn't that be crazy?
Like when Sergeant Slaughter started fighting for Iraq.
Like if I were the Utah team, I would just do that. Get a suit that looks like Howler, and then
Oh, this is
and then
Bowler.
start. Yeah,
Like
we're the Mountain team now. Sorry, Flames. Sorry,
but
Denver.
Then you get
Howler.
then you get people like us going back. You brought back the guy who fought a woman.
No.
Don't hire
No.
that guy.
Who's us?
but-
Don't you dare associate me. I think the suit is innocent.
I'm
the man is in the
No,
wrong.
I'm starting to lean towards like the guy in the suit represents the suit.
no.
Yeah.
Poo.
No. So I
Poo
feel
and
like
garbage.
this person in the suit ruined the reputation of Howler. Let's say Howler murdered someone.
Yes.
Are you just keeping the suit?
Okay.
Or you just we're like no,
Probably stained at that point.
We put a new guy in the suit. This is different. No, you got to remove the suit. I think the person in there stay in the suit. You move on. You bring in Bernie the dog, the Saint Bernard, It's all good. If Howler murdered somebody, or just put somebody new in the suit.
Howler was set up. Now, okay, so the person in the suit ruined Howler's reputation.
Yeah.
Howler
Howler's
should
done.
be able to sue the person wearing the suit. The
a
suit
good point.
should be able to sue the wearer of the suit
That's a good point.
for defamation.
It's great.
I hope to have my voice back Monday. I'm sure I will. I feel better. I'm sorry that it sounds like this.
I'm going to tear down the fourth wall. We're recording 4 season previews after this.
That's right.
Good luck, man.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I forgot my notebook, so it definitely will be.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.